Hello everybody, this is Gregory with Permanent Weight Loss Made Easy, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about one of the obstacles to permanent weight loss is the excess leisure time that we have. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. As many of you guys know, I've lost over 100 pounds and I've kept it off now for 34 years. Also, if you haven't done so already, subscribe and hit the notification bell and post a comment. So, you think of our ancestors, and I'm not going back to Palelithic time, because Palelithic times, we were working just to eat, just basic subsistence. But if you even look to 50, 60 years ago, certainly 100 years ago, the typical American was still working in a rural setting. And if you look about 60 years ago, the typical American was working either in a rural agricultural setting or in a factory, when we still had factories before NAFTA shipped them all to China, Mexico, Vietnam, and whatnot. But the majority of people today work a job that allows them to be near leisure stuff. And what do I mean by leisure stuff? AKA a screen, whether that be a computer screen or whether it be your phone. So if you are, let's say, the term, we don't really use this term that much anymore, but white collar, if you're a white collar guy or girl, you're working at an office, you're probably working on a computer, right? It's all mental work. We're no longer doing manufacture. Manus means hand. Manufacturing work. Those jobs are pretty much gone. There's some Americans that still do it, sure. But overall, the typical American is either white collar and working on a computer, or maybe they're young or working class, and maybe they're not using their mind as much. Maybe they are doing more physical work. Let's say they're a mechanic or a carpenter or doing some tourist job, service sector, but they got their phone, right? They have their phone all the time. And so you can kind of classify that, or you can look at younger people, students, college students, high school students, same thing. They're next to computers and they're next to phones and they're next to tablets. So you see this kind of trend we've had where we were busy. Like if you look 100 years ago, you woke up when the rooster woke you up, and then you were out on the field doing your work, eating meals, and then you get home, you were tired, maybe you had sex with your spouse, and then you were asleep. There was not a lot of leisure time. And commensurate to that, there wasn't a lot of mental health problems back then because you didn't really have time to have mental health problems. But now we have just excess leisure. And some of this is good, right? The efficiency of computers and whatnot. Think of the washing machine, the dishwasher. You think of these things that because we have these things, it does free up time. The fact that we can buy our food instead of chopping off the chicken's head and having to pluck it out and all these things. But it's also led to problems. And I think we just have too much leisure time. We have way too much leisure time. Too much time to sit around, and what are we doing with that time? Is a typical American, I don't know, hiking during that time, or even reading a book, or developing a hobby? No. We are screens. So it's either gaming, with the women it's social media, Pinterest, stuff like that, shopping, online shopping. With the men it's gaming, porn, and with both sexes, it's just looking at your computer, looking at your television, whatever it is, sports, whatever it is. And all these things were created to be addictive. No doubt gambling, no doubt social media. I mean, this is not even a question now. I mean, the studies have come out. Silicon Valley has even admitted it. They hired the same scientists who created casino addiction to make their apps addictive. You think of the way television is created with cliffhangers, right? And then now we have binge watching to get you into the next one. So it makes us all lazier and just more sedentary. And both of these things are bad for weight loss, right? If you think of 1950, we had no internet, obviously. We had barely any television. We had radio. The only wealthy people kind of had portable radios. And so it was a time where you were out and about. Like your job was more laborious, because you worked at a factory or agriculture, so you were moving your body more. And then on your free time, you didn't have a lot of stuff to kind of keep you at the house. You would be just being more active and or socially active, engaging with humans. And now you look at it, we go to work and we're looking at screens most of the day, either legally or illegally. Maybe your employer doesn't want you to be looking at screens, but everybody does it. Everybody's at work doing their work, and then they'll have a browser up with Google News or whatever it is, CNN. You're doing that, and then you get home, and it's maybe you'll do a quick workout, And then it's screens at night. You know, how many people are taking night walks? How many people are exercising at night? Right? How many people are in an infrared sauna or anything? And all these things are impediments to weight loss. So what is my tip to you? Kind of be cognizant of the fact that we are way too hooked on screens, all of us. And I'm not excluding myself. With me, it's not video games, it's not porn, fortunately. It's not Reddit, it's not YouTube. Pretty much it's maybe movies, right? We all need to be cognizant of it. And I think we all need to make a choice. And especially if we're overweight or we just lost our weight and trying to lose it, we need to move the body, shock the body throughout the day. So I'm not saying you can never be at home. What I'm saying is you need to be taking walks, taking hikes, gardening, just doing push-ups, planks, whatever it is. Move the body, shock the body. The other thing is when you're always on screens, you're more likely to graze when you're eating. Right? And there's tons of studies that show this. You eat more when you are watching TV than if you're, like the old days, sitting at a table with your family and talking. So just be cognizant of it and try to make changes to not jeopardize our weight loss and weight maintenance. Guys, post in the comments. How do you feel about screen addictions? I'd like to hear from you. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.